Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the most recent price action for Bitcoin, seeing what we think is likely to happen next based on the most recent Bitcoin moves. So as I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be able to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, guys, check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Let's jump right down into this one though, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to start off here, see what's going on. So the last couple of videos that we put out here on the channel have been talking about a potential move to upside, specifically around resistance to 32,917, but we did see a move to the downside with a potential five-wave structure, which is a potential trend structure, but I do think that's deviated away a little bit. So we're going to come into this and take a look at what's going on. I'll draw another horizontal line just here, add the arrow for today's thumbnail, which I'll add later on, and we'll be able to keep track of it from there. So let's go ahead and jump down. We're going to start things off with Elliott wave theory. So where is the current market? Well, it does look like we've gotten very, very close to invalidation, whereas this is still technically valid. Far too much time has passed, in my opinion, to see this move down to what we were talking about yesterday, which was 29,580 to 29,817. So I'm going to actually take this off and say it's no longer actually a five-wave drop like what we want to see. Instead, I'll mark this up as a zigzag pattern, and we'll just go with an ABC structure inside here for now. Alternatively, we could look at this thing as a running flat, finishing just down here as well, which would be very, very interesting to see another surge to the upside potentially on the horizon. But for now, what we'll do is we'll mark this up as ABC, and we'll see how it kind of moves on from there. It's a slight overextension, as you can see, and obviously this still can hit those lower targets. I just wouldn't expect it to do so. Now, when we take a look at this, what do we see? We do see a potential move to the upside here. It's possible that this is going to be slightly drawn out today, but we'll see. Right, we got this low down here. In fact, what we're going to do is I'm going to clear out some of these other horizontal lines. I'm just going to remove these for now. And you know what, yeah, I'll remove this one as well. Why not? Okay, cool. So we have this low point down here. This is basically $29,966 to the penny, because Binance loves everything to the penny, even on this spot pair. We can then see there's a move to the upside, 30,595.6, and we can see here that it looks like it's one wave. Now we can argue that we do have a three-wave count inside there, and we do. You know, for the most part, that's not too bad. And coming on down here, we can also see a potential WXYXZ structure just in here, right in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or WXYXZ. Is it possible that it's anything else? It's possible that it's a contracting diagonal of sorts, which would be pretty bearish, but let's go ahead and jump into kind of what that would look like right in here, and right in, oh, not that one. If I grab this, I'm going to pull this in here. Okay, now a contracting diagonal structure, I'll make this a little bit bigger, is a five-wave count, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it has some very specific rules. The rules with the contracting diagonal is that wave 1 has to be the biggest, wave 3 cannot be the shortest, and we should have 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 as our internal workings. Okay, so we should just be looking for three wave counts, and I think pretty much this would tick a nice box for a contracting diagonal pattern. Now, when it comes to this, what does that mean? Well, that could mean that we're going to be seeing an overextension within a fifth wave movement to the downside, or we're starting something very big, and we're about to see a huge move to the downside. Now, if that is the case, what we want to do is we want to be very clear about this high at 30,955. That's not even right. Let me get that right. 30,595.6. Okay, we cannot go higher than this under a contracting diagonal. So we know that this here could potentially be quickly invalidated, okay? Now, also, this move, as I said, could be a W, X, Y, X, and Z. And you would really have to go down to like the 5-minute, maybe even the minute chart to really get good confirmation over what is going on within there. Now, taking a look at it, and on the face of it, we could also argue that this is looking pretty interesting for a bullish move to the upside. And the reason for that is that we do see, if we were to ignore the idea of a contracting diagonal, we could see this moving up towards 30,757.6. And it would be a big ABC structure like this. Now, when that kind of thing were to occur, then we do want to reflect on the fact that we would have this high up here not getting broken, and that would be $31,000 flat, again to the penny. Now, the other thing that's worth noting here is that we are going into lower highs and lower lows. These have a tendency to break upwards, which means I have less faith in the idea that we are in a contracting diagonal than I have more faith, and I do have more faith in thinking that we're likely to break this area at 30,595 by heading up to 30,757, which would put us right up in this upper area of resistance as well. We are, of course, overbought on the hourly, so do expect some volatility, but we are oversold on the 4 and 8 hour charts. Macro views, we'll talk about those this afternoon, but they pretty much haven't changed. They are heavily overbought from the stochastic point of view. So ultimately here, for the smaller timeframes, these micro movements for Bitcoin, I think we do have this ability to look at this push to the upside. This remains valid as long as we stay above $29,966 as well, okay? So that's your Elliott Wave theory kind of approach to the market. Now, if we come over to the smart money concepts, what's going on here? And well, in here, we can see we do have this bearish change of characterization. It's a minor one, okay? And we have a break of structure over here as well. Now, this is basically confirming that we are looking at a bearish situation on the hourly chart for Bitcoin. But these are minor. And again, my expectations are that these will eventually kind of change and chop and all that kind of stuff. If I zoom out far enough, we can see that we're actually in a bullish structure overall, but we're really fighting that 50 EMA right here, with a 200 EMA just above the equilibrium. Ultimately, equilibrium is in line with the fair value gaps, and I think a pull to the downside here will be something that we should expect to see at some point soon. So, if we blend together the smart money concepts and the Elliott Wave theory, what do we get? Well, I think ultimately we have on our smaller time frame that idea of a bullish movement to the upside like this, which we can wrap inside a bearish movement like this. And that's essentially going to take us down towards our 200 EMA in my opinion. But it would fall short of coming into the fair value gaps and equilibrium unless, of course, we have a much bigger, deeper movement here in that C wave, actually taking us into a much more, how do I word it, like a more impulsive bearish structure that would emerge. Again, we're not going to get a change of character at a major level for a little while here, but the fair value gaps have stacked up. We have equilibrium quite low, but until we lose that 200 EMA, do expect prices to potentially be buoyant a little bit longer. Ultimately, we got the momentum to kind of support bullish movement to the upside, at least on the 4 and 8 hour charts. But I do expect to see volatility at the micro levels and the macro levels. Ultimately, we're just waiting for some kind of rug to kind of be pulled on the kind of weekly timeframes, and I think we're going to see a very, very sharp drop when it comes to Bitcoin here. Ultimately, that's the bigger view. On the micro timeframes, though, I kind of see that small push upwards, small push downwards, and then after that, it's all fair games as to which direction it goes. All eyes are on 200 EMA, specifically on the kind of smaller timeframes, but also the daily timeframes as well, as that really will help define where we are heading. Overall. Ultimately, we're finding good support all around these low areas, particularly around the $29,500, and we are finding upper resistance right around that kind of 30,500 to about $31,000 as well. So ultimately, yeah, I think I'm going to leave this video right there. We do have this interesting idea. We do have the ultimate bearish structure, but I'm not confident on it. Ultimately, I'm looking at this thing potentially moving up a little bit on the micro time frames before pulling back down a little bit lower. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, but that's my opinion on Bitcoin for today. If you found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, guys, check it out, linked in the description down below. Until the next one, I'll catch you later.
We are not financial advisors. None of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.